and Pediatrician, Dr. Jolene Ellis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks.
Great to have you here. Not only are they a team in the pediatrics practice, but your family.
Yes, we are.
So,
This is my daughter.
sisters?
Oh yeah, nice. This is my daughter.
Well, Libby, we've had you on the show before. I remember when we had that formula crisis, a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. You were instrumental in helping a lot of moms.
Well, Selena Taylor really
yes,
was.
Yes, Selena Taylor, absolutely. But it was a team. Mm-hmm. You guys all did a lot to make sure that moms had what they needed for their babies. So are we out of that? All the formulas being manufactured?
There's always a need, but
Okay.
it's the shelf stocking is much better. Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, news about pediatrics. Henry Ford has made some changes. You are consolidating into one central location, right?
That's correct.
So where were you and where are you?
So we were at Franklin Street. We had two offices, Franklin Street and Cascade Ridge, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which is right off of Spring Arbor Road. And now we are on West Ave, yes. So right, like if you're going north, if you're on Michigan Ave, and then you turn to go on north on West Ave, we're just to the left.
Next to the Shell.
Yes.
Yes.
On the way to Target.
Yes. It's in the big new medical building, the Mid-Michigan Medical, with you've got neighbors like orthopedic rehab specialists.
That's right.
I was there, took a tour, and the place is beautiful. Do you get like more room? What are the benefits of taking two practices and moving them into one?
Well, we used to be just one a few years ago, and then we just outgrew the space we were in. So we had to separate, and so what was always been the goal to get back together again. It's confusing for patients to figure out which place they're supposed to be, and so it'll just be very nice to be back together again, and plus we enjoy working with as a team all together.
One-stop shop, we
Yeah.
have a picture, I think, team photo, and there y'all are.
The best coworkers ever.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice team.
Well, it's team photo season, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
You could be a volleyball team, but no, you're a pediatrics team.
That's right.
So, first day of school. What kinds of things should parents be doing to make sure the little ones start school healthy, happy, and safe?
Why don't you go first?
Well, you know, I think key, getting them back on school hours, and that's always a challenge, especially for the older ones. So working on that as early as you can. School's already started in a lot of places today, so keeping them on the same schedule on the weekends is important. As close to, I mean, they're going to sleep in a little, but as close as you can to keeping them on the same regimen helps them get used to the changeover. So that's really good. And then, yeah, and just you know, being encouraging, talking positively, and that they absorb what parents. From their parents, how they feel, and if the parents are positive and just really are telling them you're going to be so successful, this is going to be really good, they really absorb that from parents.
Yeah, they're probably getting up even earlier than they would need to because the parents have to maybe drop them on their way to work and things like that. Breakfast and, you know, just routines you've got to get up earlier for.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many hours of sleep do you recommend kids get?
Well, yeah, of course it depends on the age, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, so I'm more in like the toddler space. So, I mean, those kids, gosh, it really does vary from kid to kid.
10 to 12 probably at that age, and then it just goes down from there. Although when teenagers hit their growth spurt, a lot of times they revert and need a lot more sleep, and so they don't get it because they get to start so early and go all day. So the only times parents see them, they're tired out and sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But normally, you know, for the younger ones, 10, give or take, and there's always those kids that need less and those that need more. And then as you get into high school, you know, if they're getting 8, you're very lucky. So.
All right, so this, for so many kids, it's going to be a new experience going back to school. They're going to be in a new building, and at the very least, they're going to see new faces, new kids, and it's stressful, isn't it? How can you prepare kids? How do you deal with reducing anxiety in children who might have a new teacher? And
Sure. One of the best ways is to really like help them, you know, the more expectation, the more knowledge that they have going into it, the better. So, and that looks practically different age to age. So like my 3-year-old is getting ready to start preschool. So like play, you know, as I'm playing with him and I'm getting him ready to be in a new space, a new environment, I might be saying like, oh, as we're playing together, look, he's getting ready to get dropped off. He's not going to be with his mommy, but it's okay. Look at all of his friends as you're doing like parallel play with them. That's one way. Another way is called like the fill-up game, where you say like, oh, how much mommy do you have? And, you know, and it's a way for kids to really quantify how much they're really needing you, because what we know about attachment in kids is like, you know, they're trying to build that secure attachment. So when they are in a new space, it's very anxiety provoking. So the fill-up game is like, oh, if I feel a little off with my child, I say, oh, you look like you need a little bit of mommy. Should we fill you up? And then you give them a big hug and you say, okay, how much mommy do you have? And they'll tell you. And that can give you a gauge as a parent for that age, like 4 and under, but you can do it older, of where they're at, you know, where their attachment is at. And that can really helps you have that open communication with them as a parent.
Yeah, and with attachment, should the kid bring their binky and their bear to school?
Well, depends on the rules, I guess. But if they can have something, I think the younger they are, they tend to allow that, and I think that can be very helpful.
Any type
for them.
of security can
Maybe not a binky, but because they need to be
yeah,
able
I mean,
to
age appropriate, but any type of
yeah.
like personal type
Yes.
of piece
Yeah.
that is meaningful to them.
Sure, that's helpful. Very, very helpful.
All right, food. If parents are packing their lunches, what should they be putting in there so that the kid gets enough energy and doesn't come home and eat a whole box of Fruit Loops?
I think protein's key always. Just, you know, trying to get protein in the morning and sending it in first. If you do snacks, if they send in snacks, you know, the cheese sticks and any kind of protein that you can, nuts, and if they're allowed again in schools. But any kind of protein through the day will really help to even out that blood sugar, and they're not getting those highs and lows quite so much, and it helps to keep them full, but also keep their brains working well.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, the school dietitians and lunch teams, they do a great job.
They do.
And the kids have a lot more choices today than they ever had. So as a parent, should you go over the menu with the child ahead of time and make sure that they're going to be picking the things that you think they need?
Oh man, I think, you know, you can just find your rhythm, you know. If you think it looks different for each parent and their work schedules and what's going on in their rhythm of the fall. I mean, I think it really is, it's case by case. But yeah, that can be helpful.
Yeah. Do you have kids, Libby?
I do, yeah.
In school?
Well, Bo is 3 and he's our oldest, so we're very new parenting to the new start of school. So
Yeah, in a lot of cases, you know, you've got 2, 3, 4 kids in one home, different ages, different needs, different schedules.
Yes.
Should you try to get everybody on the same?
Well, you've got to do what works for you, of course, and that's always a difficult thing. But just, you know, I think just trying to get a routine, and that's what the stress is all about right now, is figuring out the new routine and who needs to be where and when and all of those kind of things. But as much as you can, packing the night before, getting all of that ready so you're not leaving that till morning, and doing as much as you can the night before to help just prepare them, and you know, so they're excited about school the next day, and they're not, you know, you're not scrambling around, you know, at the last minute trying to get out the door, knowing that you're going to have some bad mornings. Every household does.
Yeah.
We should talk about the weekend after the first week of school. You know how you say, you're like, so that should be like a don't do anything weekend.
Calm.
Right.
Calm.
Yeah.
Get outside. Be quiet, away from your phone. Like anything to just sort of like still, calm, quiet. That type of stuff to really help kids can help. Yeah. You mentioned that.
And
so
yes. Yeah. And then having a connect time, I think as your teenagers, as you get into young teen years and teenage years, after school, sometime, with the phones off, getting a chance to really connect with them so you can find out. And it has to be, you got to get on when they're ready to talk, but it's just a time when they're not distracted, when you can really talk to them, and so you can find out if there's bullying or whatever the stressful kind of things are going on in their lives, so you can really connect with them. But just to have a little bit of time that you can say, this is our time, I want to just talk to you at the end of the day. So
I think it's pretty cool. We have a mother-daughter team in the pediatric practice. Is that
Yes.
by design or chance? Are you following in your mom's?
She's a great
I'm
role
blessed.
model.
Yeah. Well, I'm very blessed. That was.
I don't know.
I did let her choose, I promise.
I'm like, wait, how did we get where we are?
Yeah. So she went into nursing, and then has always had a heart for kids. So then did her nurse practitioning degree in pediatrics. So we snapped her up.
All right. Well, you can take advantage of their expertise, and you see how great they are. They're accepting patients. You're welcoming new patients. And you can reach Pediatrics. New phone number, 517-205-2700 in the Mid-Michigan Health Center's building, just off Weston Wildwood. Great to see you both. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Thank you.
From Henry Ford Pediatrics Jackson, Dr. Jolene Ellis, and pediatric nurse practitioner Libby Cross. Well, next, it's time to celebrate some birthdays and anniversaries, so stay with us.